Does anybody know where I can put this trash into the bin at the minute? I didn't even watch the Leicester game. Whenever this is going up, I didn't even watch the Leicester game. I wasn't even aware of what was going on because I was at work. And to be honest, it sounds like I had a better evening. Apparently, we played okay for an hour. But typically, Moyes, rather than influencing the game at 0-0 in a game we needed to win, waits until we're 1-0 down and then decides to make changes. Brings on two players that should be head and shoulders in the starting lineup. Now, that just baffles my mind completely. I can't get my head around that. When I came out of work and I was just, getting myself ready to go home, I just had a quick look and I just thought, I'll look through Sunderland's Twitter page. I didn't look at the final score. I thought I would look at the start of it. I just deliberately put my hand over my phone, went over Sunderland's Twitter feed, and then went to the start of the game and just went from there to see what happened. And, I thought, 0-0, all right, might be able to do something here. Then I saw Leicester made a sub, bring on Samani, and he scored, like, yep, forget it. And then Jamie Vardy scores. Typical. And it's... and the sad thing is, originally I wasn't even that bothered that we're lost because I knew it was coming. I knew we were going to get beat at Leicester because there's one team blatantly trying and there's one that isn't blatantly trying. Now you can debate whether you like about whether what trying is, whether the players are putting the actual effort in. To me, I feel there's been a number of games where this team has bottled it. The team we played against Watford at the weekend, for example, in my opinion, should have been good enough to go there. You could argue Watford are better than Sunderland. Maybe you could argue that with a validity there because they're miles ahead of us in the league. But that in itself is an embarrassment that Watford are miles ahead of Sunderland in the league. It's embarrassment that Leicester are now 16 points above us. 16! Come on! Like, really? You look at Burnley. I think they're probably like 30. They're like 15 points ahead of us. Get lost, man. Get lost. And Bournemouth's probably exactly the same. 17, 18 points. I haven't even checked the league table. And quite frankly, I don't want to check the league table. And you know what? Whether this goes up by the time Swansea play Spurs or not, I hope Swansea beats Spurs. You know why I hope Swansea beats Spurs? Because I want them to send this pathetic club back down to the shambles where it belongs at the moment. Because quite frankly, this club is doing nothing to deserve what the fans should be getting. That didn't even make sense. They did not do anything to give the fans what they deserve. Name me one club that constantly does shit, season in, season out, no prospect of improvement, always in a relegation battle, players just deliberately wait until the end of March, start of April to finally start turning up, and then just do the same thing again next year. That gets a big stadium with over 40,000 fans. I know Newcastle's probably one that springs to mind. And to be fair, they shouldn't even be in the Championship. Neither of us should be in contention with the Championship. We shouldn't even be associated with that division. I know, and to me you say, well, why shouldn't Sunderland supposed to be associated with the Championship? Well, I'll tell you why. Stadium size doesn't guarantee you anything, but we've got a bigger stadium size than a lot of teams that are doing better than us. Secondly, the fan base we've got, criminally underrated, doesn't get anywhere near enough recognition than what it should do. Thirdly, the calibre of managers that we've had, supposedly calibre of managers anyway. You had Martin O'Neill, who I didn't particularly rate, but he was a highly calibre manager. You had, Gus Poyet, who was an up-and-coming manager, but still had a good, decent reputation in the game. You then had Sam Allardyce, who's a mug, and David Moyes, despite this season I don't feel is a mug, but even I'm starting to lose my patience with Moyes a bit. That's four considered high-calibre managers that a lot of other teams would love to have had at one point in their careers. So, and then you look at the money we've spent. How the heck do you spend over £100 million over the last few years and get worse? How the heck can you justify spending that much money and somehow getting worse every season? How is that justifiable? Anyway, the thing is, when I left the game, good God, I'm glad, I was originally going to try and go to this game, to the Leicester game, but I'm glad I didn't bother now. When I left work and I saw the result, I wasn't that bothered, and I was like, meh, alright then, expected it. And then the more I talked about it with Pete on the phone, about how seething he was, because he actually did watch the game, and then that started to get me thinking about the stupid decisions this club has made over the last few years, and that's got me really pissed off. That's got me really angry because I just think to myself, you know what? If this club was managed properly like it should be, then we wouldn't even be in this situation. You look at Paolo Di Canio and Dick Advocat, two of the worst appointments I think we've ever made. Yeah, you might think I'm being harsh on Advocat, but I never rated Advocat from the start. He was an absolute dinosaur in the game. He tried to get us to play. He was pragmatic at first, but tried to get us to play a ridiculously open, expansive style of football, which he should have known this squad of players he had wasn't good enough capable of playing. And yet he does it anyway. Forget being hard to beat. Oh yeah, let's just go and try and outplay teams. Doesn't matter, we're letting 10 goals at the back in one game. We'll go and try and score 11. Oh, we can't score 11. Why? Oh yeah, because we're shit. I hate this so much right now. No doubt that little annoyed noise is going to be maybe made into a meme or something. I don't know. Feel free to. Just give me something to laugh at. I can't fathom how a Premier League club manages to constantly screw up every year. How the heck do you constantly manage to do this? Even Sunderland find their own ways of disappointing the fans. Paolo Di Canio, how the heck do we give him a bloody job? You look at them lot down the road, Newcastle. They get a Champions League winning manager in the Championship. And we've been associated with Paolo Di Canio. How the heck do you justify that? I've been more lenient on Ellis Short, right, than I was. I was really Ellis Short. I was anti-Ellis Short a few months ago. You'll seen on the channel. I was really against the owner. I've got a bit more of a leniency towards him now. But I still am of the opinion that he's got to have made himself properly educated on football, or get someone to educate him who does know something about football, to educate him about football, so that these daft appointments don't get made. You look at the director of football thing, something we never should have tried, because Lee Congerton didn't do anything when he was here. I don't think Congerton had the easiest of conditions to work with, I might add, but he still underperformed in terms of some of the players he signed. But that's the point, though. Why do we keep on signing these stupid, inadequate players? You know, some of these players aren't good enough this season. But to me, there are some players that blatantly haven't been trying. Januzaj, big example. Barini hasn't been trying his capability. Lamine Kone especially has been really shit this season. He has so underperformed compared to what he was like last season. Because we know he's a good defender. He just hasn't bothered this season. And that's what annoys me. Get lost in the summer. Just go away, the lot of years. You know, I'm done with a lot of them. They need, you know, and I will, right, anyway, the last point I'll get onto in this video, David Moyes, right. I've been going back and forth in my head since the Watford game about David Moyes. I'm still more in favour of Moyes in than out, because there's still part of me just genuinely believe that he can succeed at this club if given the time and resources to do it. But he's got to help. But Moyes, you've got to stop these stupid comments. You've got to stop making these stupid, baffling tactical decisions. You've got to swallow. And I'm going to keep mentioning Khazri till you properly start him. You've got to swallow your pride on Wahbi Khazri and go and use him from the start. Now I can't comment on the Leicester game because I didn't see it, but the Watford game, a game that we offered nothing offensively, in a game we needed to win, by the way, against a team who I think is poor. Khazri comes on, and Dong especially, can't understand dropping in Dong last two games. They come on, straight away, will look better. So why are these players not starting? I think Ndong maybe did start against Leicester, to be fair, but Khazri, once again, didn't start. Now, come on, Moyes. You know, I'm starting to lose patience with him a little bit. You know, I still feel a lot of people have jumped ship on the Moyes out thing too quickly. That's not a dig at anybody. That's just my own personal opinion. It's a problem I've got with football fans generally. But I'm on the fence about Moyes right now. I'm really on the fence about him because he's not helping himself with some of the dafter things that he's making. You look at the game before Leicester's like, oh, we have to hope Leicester's on and off. You have to hope we catch Leicester on an off day. What's he bigging up Leicester to be? Chelsea. Come on. Forget they won the league last season. That team is poor. Leicester's team isn't very good. I know they've won 5 on the bounce or whatever it is, but that's probably because of a new manager effect. You know, where were they when Ranieri was manager? Why weren't they playing for him then? Come on. I don't rate Leicester's team, apart from Morris. Yeah, I still think Vardy's overrated. But I've got to give him credit. He scored a good goal last night. I can't take that away from the guy. It's not much credit, because all you have to do is just basically half turn up and you've beaten Sunderland. And that's the thing. Why does Moyes not look at these games and think, right, well, we need to get a win here, win here, win here? I bet you he'll turn up against Man United and think, right, we'll protect a 0-0 draw. Or forget we need a win, we'll just protect a 0-0. A 0-0 against Man United is a good result. Yeah, maybe 3 months ago it probably was. Now, a point isn't good enough. We need all 3. Basically, of our last 8 games, we need to win 5 or 6 of them to have any chance of staying up. And that isn't going to happen, is it? Let's be honest, we're down. And to be quite honest, I want us to get relegated because I've now got a season ticket with we mate Paul. You know, we're kind of split half us on a season ticket. You know, like 2 season cards. We're going together, and Pete's sitting with us. Quite frankly, and to be honest, I want that to be in the Championship because I am sick to death of being in the Premier League. If all we're going to do is just underachieve every year, and I'll keep saying it, staying in the Premier League is underachieving for Sunderland. As a club, they should be miles ahead of this by this point after 10 years in the top flight. I'm sick of it. I'm sick to death of the Premier League. I don't care if, we need to be there for the money. I don't want to be in the Championship because it's a hard league. Yeah, well, guess what? We're not getting any joy in the Premier League, are we? Not getting anything out of the Premier League. I hate it. I hate what's going on here. Get to the Championship already. Sod off a lot of your Sunderland players. We better. And one thing I want us to improve on in the summer. Pickford and Corney, they're going to go to for some stupid reason as a clause where he can leave for free at the end of at the end of this season. Oh yeah, because in our financial situation where we need every bit of money, leaving our best goal scorer on a free. Yeah, that makes good sense, doesn't it? That's another decision that really baffles me that this club's made. I can understand that Defoe will leave. Fair enough, he's better than the Championship. But for free, get lost. Just get lost. But anyway, Pickford and Corney, they are our 2 biggest assets. I think we can get money for Kasri and Barini as well. Sunderland, please do not settle for a price for these players. Be as mean as possible when wanting to sell these players. Well, Newcastle, again, I hate comparing us, but you look what they did. Selling Sissoko, who's been abject for 2 seasons, and because of 1 decent European performance, he gets away for 30 million. Credit to them for that. We need to do that. Pickford, at least 25, 30 million for him. Corney, at least 15, 20 for him. If you settle for any less than that, I will blow a gasket. It is ridiculous. I'll leave you there, guys. I'm too annoyed at this club right now because people are becoming so. It's been beating the supporters round the head so many times that people are disillusioned. And until the club actually properly does something to rectify this, fans will stop going to the games. They'll not stop supporting Sunderland, I would imagine, but they will stop going, and that will get a decrease in revenue. Sort it out, Sunderland. See you later.